I wake up at 9:45. Good.
Oh, shit, you live. Oh, fuck.
Good too.
I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't even
What
doing.
time is it?
9:39.
You turn my shower on to the middle water.
What time you gotta leave? At 10?
9:50. Who called you?
Who called me?
You smell like cigarettes. Fix that.
How? I just need to smoke a cigarette.
Don't get in my car smelling like it.
What are you supposed to do? Fuck, she on the A there. I'm gonna blast first.
Get you some gum. Oh, my keys upstairs. Keeping my deodorant in my car has been so good for me because if I put it in my house, I'm gonna forget to put it on. But when I keep it in the front, I see it. And it reminds me that I need deodorant. Okay, y'all not actually coming because I'm gonna get banned, but bye, love you guys.
People really discussing my career again, asking if I'll be going platinum in a year again. Don't I got this shit the world wanna hear again? No, Michael Jordan still got his hoop earring in. Man, all of your flows bore me, paint drying, and I don't ever be tripping off of what ain't mine. And I be hearing the shit you say through the grapevine, but jealousy is just love and hate at the same time. Yeah. It's been that way from the beginning. I just been playing, I ain't even noticed I was winning. And this is the only sound you should fear. Man, these kids wear crowns over here and everything is alright.
Oh, I know you don't love me, baby. They're trying to take you away from me. Only over me, baby. They're trying to take you away from me. Only over my dead.
You say I'm old news, well who the new star? Cause if I'm going anywhere, it's probably too far. Just performed at a bar mitzvah over in the States. Used half of the money to beat my brother's case. Red wine over fair time. But shout out to the niggas that's doing dead time. And shout out to the bitches there when it's bedtime. And fuck you to the niggas that think it's their time. Yeah, don't make me take your life apart, boy. You and whoever the fuck gave you your start, boy. Oh, you wanna be a motherfucking funny guy. Don't make me break your Kevin Hart, boy. Yeah, it's whatever. You know, feeling good, living better. I think maybe I was numb to it last year, but you know I feel it now more than ever. My city love me like Mac Dre in the Bay. Second album, I'm back paving the way. The backpackers are back on the bandwagon like this was my comeback season back in the day. And I met your baby moms last night. We took a picture together, I hope she frames it. And I was drinking at the Palms last night and ended up losing everything that I came with. Yeah, feel like I've been here before, huh? I still got 10 years to go, huh? And this is the only sound you should fear. Man, these kids wear crowns over here and everything is alright.
Oh, I know you don't love me, baby. They're trying to take you away from me. Only over my dead
Game morning. Still going down. Oh yeah. This is for you buffer ass niggas who wanna do it. Fucking gypsy.
Never to the morning, nah, nah, nah. Tell me, ooh, you better say I treat you well, I will.
Listen, numbers simply don't lie. For Pandora listeners, Chris Brown is the reigning king of R&B in 2025. No back and forth necessary. Just want to point out that you can hear all his current hits on Platinum. Tap now to listen.
Oh,
Oh, hell no.
yeah, you phone, come to mind, to catch a hand in due time. I think that I could fuck the idea of him out of your mind. You said he rad, he ain't signed, that ain't a good sign. Change your mind, the conversation and some rosé wine. Unless there's some other things you got in mind. You might be, hey, hey. The smoke got me talking in Dutch. Appealing me bees so what? She leaning on me, I'm a crutch. She creaming on me, I'm a crush. My photos don't need a retouch. She asked why I haven't done nothing. I didn't know we're in a rush. Enjoying the moment so hush. My album is paying the bills. I don't even need a deluxe. The stomach is flat as fuck. Still fit that shit in the gut somehow. The fat must have went in the butt somehow. I don't even answer what's up. She saying that shit is natural. I don't care if she making it up. I never put you in no Uber, girl. I'm always gonna send you a truck. I'm always gonna keep it a buck. You give me that shit and I'm steady on my ways. Cause a lot of broke niggas round the way, riding around town and they looking for my face. Gotta pray to God above you, girl. You know that savage love you and I hope that you feel the same. Tryna be the one for you, but my nickname true, and I hope that I can change. Girl, you know that savage love you, girl, you know that savage love you. Gotta turn my bitch up, 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 turn my, no, I gotta turn my bitch up, turn my bitch, TT, turn my bitch, TT, turn my bitch, gotta turn my bitch up, turn my, hey. I gotta stop going Van Cleef condo third week. I like it, but I'm too geek. Tryna tell you what. I gotta stop going Lindsay, Rolly, first week. You're misreading me. I'm too geek. Tryna turn you on. You were lost into me. I didn't get no finder's fee. You're acting like a bride to be. Behind closed doors, sliming me. Friends all advising me. Saying I could die, trying to turn you up. There's three sides to the story, girl. The closed doors, sliming me. You were lost into me.
Imagine being on a vacation for a
Y'all
very
make your
long time.
imagine.
Now imagine saving money nightly
Golly.
while you do it.
Maybe I
Sounds
might
pretty
buy
great,
Pandora
right?
ad free.
With
I don't know
Vrbo's
yet.
long stay discounts, you can
I
stay
don't
long
know.
to extend that vacation. Book the perfect summer getaway today with Vrbo Private Vacation Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
Oh, shit.
Leftovers. again.
Oh,
But
Lord.
you respect your lunch break. Grab it.
Rentals. Your future self will thank you later.
You old
Coworkers eating
shit.
mystery leftovers again.
Oh,
But
Lord.
you respect your lunch break. Grab a new
I'm
toasted
sorry.
pizza sandwich from Jimmy John's.
Bring
this
your ugly
Philly
asses
salami,
with your ugly
capicolo, ham,
asses.
peach
What the
marinara,
fuck?
Philly mozzarella, and oregano
Cross
basil,
the damn
all on
street.
golden
It's so
French bread. Or
irritating.
go
This
cheese
ugly
mode
as
with
fuck for
3
no
cheese,
reason.
Parmesan, provolone, mozzarella, dripping with marinara and herbs. Hot, melty, seriously satisfying.
I need to
Or
sit at a
what?
coffee
Pronto.
shop and
Jimmy
do my
John's new
homework or
toasted
something.
pizza sandwiches. Oh,
I need to
that's good.
romanticize
This
my
big
life,
location
Eddie.
for a limited time while supplies last.
I need to. I need to go to a coffee shop, sit in the corner, get me some sunlight, hook up my laptop, and do some shit. Golly.
You work to work, you late to work.
Okay, we made it to class early, I guess.
You know my black was colder than Chicago in December. My bitch came up and go with her mama, was her dad. When I'm in the Midwest, she say holla at your family. I doubt pay me that.
Who the fuck is this? I need nothing but Drake. It's all about Drake today. What the fuck? What don't they understand?
First time in a long time.
Oh, my spot open. Oh, well, it is Friday. It's always open on Friday.
First time in a long time.
Sing it! Sing it! I love him. Just ain't.
Watch my back, even when I'm in the booth. I'll trustful.
Sing it, babe.
Doing my thing, but I'm down to come clean.
Sing it, baby. Do it.
I wanna make you feel the weight off your shoulders too.
Sing it.
I'll take it.
Sing it.
I wanna make you feel the weight off your shoulders too.
Sing it.
I'll take it.
Sing it.
Shoulders too.
Sing it.
I'll take it.
Sing it. All right.
Go crazy, baby.
Say it again, babe. Okay, I'm gonna bring my second. I think I already got a cookie in my backpack, y'all. If I got a cookie in my backpack, we done hit the lotto. We done hit the fucking lotto if I got a cookie in my backpack. Hold on. And I got some more sun chips in here I never finished. I'm gonna just bring these in here just in case I don't wanna crunch them all the way up though. I got a lot of homework to do. It's time to catch up. I still ain't wrote that damn 250 word journal. 250 words? That's like 4 paragraphs, is it?
First time in a long time. Hurting, big inside. First time in a long time. Hurting, big. Yeah. Hey. Hurting, big inside. Trust.
I'm so irritated. Okay, let's go to class. It's Drake's birthday. We are in a good mood, honey. We're in a good mood. You got a 5-page paper, OMG. 250 words. 4 paragraphs? How would I even have 4 paragraphs of... Oh, my gosh. This is so irritating. Why'd you keep those things from me, my love? Oh, hell no.
Thought I knew the bread and the fit. How many times did I ask about this? Oh God, why you let me find her like this? Oh God, you ain't got a pop. My God, all my niggas like you got a stop. They don't go back.
Oh no.
Whoa. Shawty and better, she belong to me. She got a fatty, I'm paying the lease. Bought in the jet and we going to Greece. We having sex on the boat on the beach. Took off the top so you know what it's me. She like my dog, my steez. Beautiful, different little species. Fast, she look like my speed. Panoramic with the Marilyn Monroe. Himalayan cost a quarter for show. Dio cracky with the white on her toe. Mickey photo pros, they come out the O's. Picking up rest like they grow out the trees. Spoiling them, but say please. Order her, the APs. Afford her, she ain't leaves. Clover them, Van Cleave. I order them, by the threes. Imported her, overseas. Me on the water, by the beach. To Monaco, to Portugal. On the roller coaster, steady. Coming home close, baby. Keep it warm and more, zoom in. I show you how to live. Put you down, I can show you how to count it. Better top, but she give me all kind of love. Fuck the kind, I can show you how to make it flow. I pull up a pop, I show 'em what it is. I pull up a pop, I show 'em what it is. Bad bitches, they already know I'm young. Bad bitch with the kid by the break of hill. Great digger, I'm shaking, I let her real. Belong to me. She got a fatty, I'm paying the lease. Bought in the jet and we going to Greece. We having sex on the boat on the beach. Took off the top so you know it is me. She like my dog, my steez. Beautiful, different little species. Fast, she look like my speed. Panoramic with a Marilyn Monroe. Himalayan cost a quarter for show. Dio cracky with the white on her toe. Mickey photo pros, they come out the O's. Picking up rest like they grow out the trees. Spoiling them, they please. Order her, the APs. Afford her, she ain't leaves. Her color stone, ruby. I'm dressing her, new trees. The Tesla, UGs. Who said she won't leave. Boston up, bought a big liquor ticket, then bought a boutique. I told her, she got bags in her cut, it ain't nothing she need. Bad little team. She my dramatic queen. Pop out and smash the scene. She got on 80 for me. I watch you, I seen you grow. From a princess to a queen. She racking my team rolls. She spoiled, she living the dream. Shawty your better, she belong to me. She got fatty, I'm paying the lease. Bought in the jet and we going to Greece. We having sex on the boat on the beach. Took off the top so you know it is me. She like my dog, my steez. Beautiful, different little species. Fast, she look like my speed. Panoramic with the Marilyn Monroe. Himalayan cost a quarter for show. Dio cracky with the white on her toe. Mickey Moto pros, they hoes. Picking up rest like they grow out for trees. Spoiling them, but say please. Order her, the APs. Afford her, she ain't leaves.
Thank you so much. I got my pajama pants on. Unless if you're American, just pants. I remember getting pajama day at school. I'm like, why can't we get that at work? When you work from home, this is business casual. Where were these growing up? What I would have given for my dad to wear pants at night.
This weekend, $5 pajama pants. One unique collection. Styles for the whole family. Yes, JCPenney. Limited time specials excluded from coupons. 26.
Jesse, it's your new man calling.
The hand that rocks the cradle, a Hulu original. What do you know about her?
Okay. I'm so irritated. We finna go to class, that's what.
The hand that rocks the cradle, a Hulu original. What do you know about her?
Okay. I'm so irritated. We finna go to class, that's why. Okay. I'm so irritated. We finna go to class. That's why. I'm stressed the fuck out. I'm stressed the hell out. Oh! When we get in this class, shut the hell up. The fuck you staring at? A bitch can yell. I'm a grown ass woman. That's so irritating. Don't fucking look at me just because somebody just yelled with your ugly ass. That's so annoying. Look at your motherfucking self. But anyways, don't get in this class making me laugh acting up because I got shit to learn. And I didn't do my homework last night. So I'm finna have to do this homework plus today's homework. Yes, it was just somebody right there. They was walking to their car. The fuck? Hold on. Yes, it was just somebody right there. They was walking to their car. The fuck? Hold on. Yes, it was just somebody right there. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all. My bad, y'all.
fired up. Oh, she's wow, she got this bird outside. Jump back. Spider eyes go too. So except for it's way worse because you know that it's just thousands of spiders. Hey.
It's a calculate Mach number and airspeed.
Well, I suppose let's go ahead and begin for the day. We are doing polar coordinates today. This is like one of those brief stops on like the various miscellaneous things that we do with integrals before we get into sequences and series. It's also one of those things that I guess in my opinion, I feel like is a little misplaced. I feel like either it should be in Calc 3 or it should be in pre-calc. And I've gone so far as to, when I was working at Western, create a proposal to replace conic sections in pre-calc. Nobody uses conic sections anymore. With curvilinear coordinate systems. The course coordinator denied me and then reaffirmed that conic sections are just the most important thing.
What are those?
Exactly.
I didn't get
You have a cone. You can cut the cone in various different ways. The outlines of the shapes you cut out make various different geometric functions. So we get circles if we go perfectly flat. We get ellipses if we're at a little bit at an angle. If we're perfectly vertical, we get parabolas. And if we come, no, we get hyperbolas like that. Sometimes what that's so, no, because it's going to curve.
Anyway,
And it's a cone. The department has some conic sections kind of like made out of wood. You know, we see them after class. That you can figure out some of these.
well, I mean, I'm just rotating back and forth up to this level. I didn't shake my head.
So these are like theoretically something that can totally exist in a vacuum outside the calculus. The principal idea is that the coordinate system or the coordinate space that we are used to is the x and y coordinate space, or if I want to say like define a point here. At 3, 4. I can have this representation of that particular point in this space of the coordinate pair 3, 4, where 3 is corresponding to the x coordinate of that point and 4 is corresponding to the y coordinate of that point. The idea of polar coordinates is to still try and reference that same point in space. So this would be 3, 4. And it's called Cartesian coordinates. But instead of using an x coordinate and a y coordinate, we instead decide to invoke everybody's deep love of trigonometry. And define this in terms of an angle theta in standard position and a distance r away from the origin for this. So this kind of behavior or this kind of coordinate tracking isn't like super bizarre in the sense of we kind of use these things for like direction given, like coordinates and bearings. So it's not like a terribly unusual kind of idea, it's just something that, usually doesn't come up very often. Mainly because the Cartesian coordinate system is just so useful. In polar coordinates, our coordinate pairs are usually made up of r and theta. And to be a little bit more precise here, r is the radial distance from the origin to the point. And theta here is the angular measure in radians and in standard position. Meaning coming from the positive x-axis and going counterclockwise around. And not say like starting over here and going clockwise. We always start over here on the positive x-axis and we always go up to start position with the starting axis. And so today's big topic is just kind of going through sort of lots of various different things that you can do with polar coordinates. First thing I suppose is kind of like a remember this stuff in trig. If I were to superimpose upon here, a triangle, then this leg of the triangle would be analogous to my x-coordinate, and this leg of the triangle would be analogous to my y-coordinate. And then there's some right triangle trigonometry stuff that we can do to kind of relate the coordinate spaces from polar coordinates to Cartesian coordinates. So if this is my angle in here, and I want to relate, for the moment, this angle in here with sides of this triangle, we can get some sort of classic trig ratios. Sine, cosine, and tangents. If I wanted to write sine here as a trigonometric ratio with r, x, and theta, what would sine be? Y over. Right, so in SOHCAHTOA, opposite over hypotenuse. And then cosine would be adjacent over hypotenuse, so x over r. And then tangent is opposite over adjacent, so y over x. We also have some various other kinds of formulas, like the classic Pythagorean formula, or Pythagorean theorem, or Pythagorean identity. X squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. Okay, so alright, we can use some of these to get, I suppose, a little bit more explicit formulas if we want to go one way or the other. Multiply both sides here by r. Multiply both sides here by r. And supposing for a second we happen to know what r and theta is, and we want to convert into Cartesian coordinates, we can use r sine theta, r cosine theta to get x and y. Likewise, if I know x and y, and I would like to get to my polar coordinates, we're going to want to use these kinds of formulas. If I know x and y, I can go get r. And if I know x and y, I can take an arctangent of both sides and get theta. Okay, so far, there's a little bit of trickiness going on here due to the fact that tangent is not generally an invertible function, and we have taken a functional inverse of tangent here when we took arctangent. So I suppose here's a little question. What's the range of arctangent? Do you remember that thing? Because it's not the entire circle. Right? It's not all 2 pi radians that we have available to us. I'm sorry?
Is it just a pi?
No.
Negative pi over 2, positive pi over 2.
Negative pi over 2, positive pi over 2. Arctangent can only give you angles down here, and it can only give you angles down here, and then I went up. Good job here. So we need to do a little bit of like reference angle kind of shenanigans, or perhaps even considering taking a negative radial measurement if I want to end up somewhere over here. Right, have an angular measure go up like say pi over 2, and then starting from the origin, go backwards. So there are some usual kind of complications that one might expect from these things due to the fact that inverse trig is not generally something that works nicely. So general complications from inverse trig. Arctan only gives angles in quadrant 1 and 4 from 0 to pi over 2 and from 0 to negative pi over 2. Okay, so far? Okay, Brandon? Have you seen this, Brandon? Have you seen any of this, Brandon? I know that you're in high school, and weirdly enough, I feel like the most plausible place to expect someone to have seen some of this is in a high school class.
You might have seen
It just doesn't come up in college classes until you hit like Calc 2, Calc 3, or maybe even pre-Calc. Yeah, exactly.
I think this came up in CAD.
In CAD?
Okay.
Cool. I don't teach CAD class.
I know what it does. Cost class.
Do they use your things like performance in CAD?
We're just flat planes right now.
Okay, fair enough. So for the moment, we're just going to do some point conversions. So we have, let's say, this point, 2, 2, in Cartesian coordinates, and we want the polar coordinates. So we know x and y, we want to get r and theta. And that's where a lot of this stuff is coming into play. The first question that I'm going to kind of ask in the lead up to this is kind of involving these general complications due to inverse trig. Which quadrant is 2, 2 in? 1. So we know for a fact that our arctangent or inverse trig is going to give us an angle that we can kind of use with no shenanigans to consider. put that down as a note. 2-2 is in quadrant 1. No inverse trig shenanigans. Let's go ahead and follow through then. R squared is my x coordinate squared plus my y coordinate squared. Is 4 plus 4 is 8. Take a square root. Technically speaking, we do get a plus or minus. And we could simplify this if we really wanted to. We can pull out a factor of 4. Let's go after our angle, so we want to take an arctangent and get ready because I'm about to ask you what the value of arctangent of 2/2 is. I'm going to write slowly, give people a chance. What's arctangent of 1? Pi over 4. Alright, so I got my quadrant 1 angle. I'm coming up from the x-axis and I'm rotating the counterclockwise direction pi over 4. And then I want to go along that angle, a distance out of 2√2. So my coordinate point for polar coordinates here would be 2√2 pi over 4. Are we okay on ones? You promise? Like really, like truly, seriously promise? Like willing to take the sacred oath of a pinky promise that everything's okay?
Yes.
Alright. Here's the polar coordinates. We want the Cartesian coordinates. Try it for yourselves for like 2 minutes. So, we know my radial measure is 3. I know my angular measure is pi over 6. How are we getting the x and the y coordinate? Yeah, using these things. Right, my radial measure times sine of my angular measure gives me y. Radial measure times cosine of my angular measure gives me x. So y is 3 sine pi over 6. And get ready, I'm about to ask about trig. Diego, what's sine of pi over 6?
Is it half?
1/2. I want you to be honest with me, Diego. Was that a guess?
Yeah.
It was a good guess. Now I want cosine of pi over 6. Braylon. Root 3 over 2. My Cartesian coordinate is root 3 over 2 times 3 over 2. And my y coordinate's 3 over 2. Good? Alright, as somebody who's taught Calc 3 a few times, I usually find that something that students tend to struggle with the most is envisioning what regions kind of look like in polar coordinates. It's just something that we kind of want to do. That is one of the reasons why I feel like polar coordinates is best suited for Calc 3 history Calc. Because we don't ever do anything like this. But it is the curriculum, so I'm not going to argue with that. We might be interested in situations where there are certain kinds of either circular or cylindrical kind of symmetries to consider. Say you're working with like a length of cable of wire, right? It's basically just a giant elongated cylinder. You've got cylindrical symmetry. Or if we're dealing with something that kind of goes out radially or goes in radially, something like a sink or a source, then might be concerned about spherical symmetry. And these kinds of things usually kind of come down to just kind of imagining what different regions in polar coordinates tend to look like. So if I say something like, for our first one, R here is less than or equal to 1. And I'm making no statement or no restriction on our angular measure on theta. All I'm saying is that my radial measure is less than or equal to 1. That means that the region which satisfies this particular inequality is all such points where that first polar coordinate pair is less than 1. There's no restriction on equal. So this particular kind of shape would look a little something like this. A disk of radius 1. We have any angular measure that we want, but my radial measure is limited on the outside by that radial measure of 1. Okay, so far? So what might this look like? A washer or a donut kind of shape. Put 0.2 there, let's put 4 out here. So all the spots inside. Still good? All right, slightly more exotic example. What does this look like?
Point except for 0.
Except for 0?
Yeah, except for r equals 0.
So everything except r equals 0. So everything except the origin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little open circle down there. Everything else. This is such a bizarre and kind of unique example for various different kinds of topological considerations that one might see in the Count 3 course. So it has earned a name, and it's earned the name kind of based on if we think about the XY plane as a piece of paper, and I took a little thumbtack and I punctured that piece of paper right at the origin, earning this the name of the punctured plane. Everything except the origin. Okay, Xavier?
If the example to what would it also be a punctured plane, or is it just when it's only 0?
I have only heard of things being referred to as a punctured plane when it is one coordinate point that is being excluded. Could I imagine a world where somebody uses a punctured plane kind of word to describe something where we have an entire region of continuity of points that we're excluding? Sure. I've never heard of that being said before. I have only heard of the word punctured plane used in cases where we are excluding one particular point. Changing it up ever so slightly. We're going from theta is pi over 6 out to theta being pi over 3. Take a second to think about it, maybe talk with your neighbor, try and figure out what kind of shape this would be. And my advice would be don't be too hasty in your exclusion of different kinds of R values. Because you're allowed anything. I didn't bring a drink. I'm silly.
But it's both ways.
Yeah.
It's positive. Both can be. Because it's over here. No, I didn't.
What? I think I accidentally picked the angle measures because pi over 6.
That's negative R. That's fine. Put it on there. Perhaps. Yeah. Because
And so
if you
pi over
measure pi,
2 goes into pi over 6.
and then measure 4 is just the what's on top of that. So like if R got negative, then it's going to go from the origin backwards. So that? What R would you have to think about that?
So what are we thinking for this one?
In and out that.
Yeah, and yeah. Yeah. In the past, I've had students kind of ignore the spotting part because they weren't considering a radial measure being allowed to be negative. Right? We could have our angular measure be somewhere in this kind of spot, and then have a radial measure be negative and send us back in that direction.
Wouldn't allowing negative r's break the first example because negative 1 is less than 1?
Well, that's bounded by R. This is bounded by theta. R isn't bounded here.
Yeah, but if r is only bounded by positive 1.
There we go. Oh, does that make you a little more solemn?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's do one where we combine them. What's that one look like?
Yeah, that's our original design.
We're missing some stuff.
Circle there. Well, because it's better. It's part of both. So now I actually draw the whole thing. I don't know. It's direct.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's power two. It's power two. Yeah.
So what's this one look like? What do you think, Diego?
Half circle.
Half circle? Which half? The right half, left half, top half, bottom half? Bottom half?
Quadrant 2 and quadrant 3.
Quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and our radii are going from 2 to 4, yeah? So something a little bit like that.
Is the bottom one negative?
It can be negative pi over 2, but it is also 3 pi over 2. Right, that's sort of the inverse trig complications, right? These functions are periodic and they repeat themselves every 2 pi. Alright, so down here can be considered to be 3 pi over 2 coming counterclockwise. And then it could also be considered negative pi over 2 if we went clockwise.
Pi, 2 pi. And, yep.
All right, we are calc students. Our major concern is functions. And of functions in polar coordinates, typically we are doing functions which are outputting the radial measurement for a given angular measure. So my input being theta, my output being r. And these kinds of functions look like, I mean, they can kind of look like anything they want because it's an equivalent formulation. There's usually some kind of, you know, symmetry or spherical kind of symmetry going around here. So it is kind of a weird kind of assumption or kind of change to no longer think of the origin here as 0, but now like this entire positive x-axis being our 0.
So from like a Cartesian coordinate to you could have an angle theta that you're going down or up from an r distance. So just like.
Say that one more time. I
So-
just don't think I picked it up.
It's like saying you're at point 2, like Cartesian coordinates, but when we're talking about polar coordinates, continuing on the function, we're going down a certain theta, we're going a certain angle in a certain distance to continue the function.
Yeah, we're going a certain angle, and then whatever that angle is, we're plotting that against however far out we're coming from the origin. So it could look a little something kind of like this-ish, where my angle is kind of increasing in this direction, and I'm sketching out my shape kind of like this. And there are various different kinds of shapes and lines that are very, very easy in polar coordinates to do. For example, this one. This would be a little bit of a nightmare to draw, and not to draw, but to write a formula or an equation to describe this particular shape. But in polar coordinates, it's just that thing. This is a circle of radius 3. And so now my constant functions kind of looking like that. So the Cartesian coordinate version of this one would be that. X squared plus y squared equals 9. So in terms of, you know, just thinking about these functions, right, this is an explicit function, right? In terms of thinking about various different kinds of things, right? This thing would probably be the easiest thing to differentiate in the world because it's a constant. Whereas up here, this is now an implicit function. It's two functions kind of copy and pasted together to make this shape in Cartesian coordinates. We would have the top half that would pass the vertical line test, and the bottom half would have to pass the vertical line test. We'd have to glue them together. So this kind of comes to like sort of the advantages of polar coordinates whenever we are expecting something to have some kind of circular symmetry. Polar coordinates is just helpful. What does this thing look like?
It's just a line.
It is just a line, yeah. It's a straight line, so something kind of like y equals mx plus b, but now we're just measuring that angular measure of one.
Can we get the line y equals x in polar coordinates? Is that possible?
What do you mean?
For the line y equals x, every value of x is equal to a value of y. Is that possible to get in polar coordinates?
Yeah, theta equals 5 over 4.
Theta equals 5 over 4. Okay.
Yep. Right, because we want tangent to be equal to 1 everywhere, so we want our x and y coordinates to be equal to each other.
Got it.
And that's going to have that in angle 5 over 4. This is another one that I'm sort of going to ask you guys to kind of think about and figure out how on earth you're going to draw. And my advice for working on this one is to go all the way back, way before calculus, way before pre-calc, to when you were first graphing things, and graph a whole bunch of coordinate points, and then connect the dots. That would be my advice. So plug in / make a table. For nice thetas. And plot those. So I do angle measures like pi over 6 and pi over 4 and pi over 3, things that we know the exact value of. Single coordinate point, we can have multiple different thetas. But for each individual, for each one theta, we can only have one R value. Alright, this is a genuine and true function, so it is gonna like pass the equivalent of vertical line test for points. And for each individual input, there is at most and only one button. might not pass a horizontal line test. We might get multiple different things from the same model. I just plug in points.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, what shape is this? How would you describe this shape?
Squiggly line.
Squiggly line. Can you be a little bit more specific than a squiggly line? This is a very special kind of squiggly line, right, Solomon?
Yeah.
What kind of squiggly line is it?
A circle.
It's a circle. So let's go ahead, plug in some points. I'm going to plug in 0, pi over 4, pi over 2, 3 pi over 4, pi, 5 pi over 4, 3 pi over 2, 7 pi over 4, and 2 pi. Get us one trip all the way around the sort of inclusive radial measures that we can get. So I plug in 0 into cosine. What do I get? 0. 0? 1. Okay. So 1 times 2 is 2. We get 2. I plug in pi over 4 into cosine. What do I get? Square root of 2 over 2 times 2 is square root of 2. Or approximately, what, 1.47-ish? If my memory is right. Is that about root 2? Alright, I plug in pi over 2 into cosine. What do I get? 0. And 2 times 0 is 0. I plug in 3 pi over 4 into cosine. What do I get? Yeah, negative root 2 over 2. Times 2 is negative root 2. Or about negative 1.47. What is it? 1.41? Okay. I knew it was 1.4 something. I plug in pi into cosine, what do I get? Negative 1. So this is negative 2. All right, and then 5 pi over 4 into cosine, what do I get? Negative root 2 over 2. And then 3 pi over 2 into cosine, what's that?
0.
0. Interesting. 7 pi over 4 into cosine, what do I get? Square root of 2 over 2. Positive square root of 2 over 2 this time. And then I plug in 2 pi, what do I get? 1, and then times 2 is 2. All right, let's plot my points. At an angular measure of 0, I want to go out 2, so my angular measure here is 0. I want to go out in that direction, positive 2 distance. So I get that point. Next, at pi over 4, so that is right around here-ish. I want to go out a distance of 1.41, so a little bit less than 1.5. So right along there, a little bit less than 1.5. Right around there-ish. At pi over 2, so there's that angle. I want to go a distance of 0 out. So I get that. Good so far? All right, let's do 3 pi over 4. So my angle is over here, but I want to go a negative 1.41 out. So I don't want to go over here. I want to come back in this direction. So right around there-ish maybe. And then at pi, I want to go negative 2, so I don't want to go that way. I want to come back this way too. So come back this way too. Hey, I'm already there. 5 pi over 4 is there. My radial measure here is still negative, so I don't want to go that way. I want to come back up. So I'm back there again.
Wait, what did you?
What did I do?
You keep saying it's negative, but it's going that way.
Yeah, because this is negative.
So why you not putting it?
Right, so that right there is the angular measure of 5 pi over 4. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to go this distance around and I wanted to go a positive measure out from the origin, I would be going this way. But I don't want to go a positive measure. I want to go a negative measure out.
Oh.
So I don't want to go this way. I want to go back that way.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I get my little circle. Something kind of like that. Right, Solomon?
Yeah.
I'm asking you because you graphed it on your calculator first. Oh, and then you did sign. I see your game, Solomon. Dr. King. So admittedly, I did partake in the classic math teacher standard practice of torturing people by making them make tables of values and then plotting them. When, like Solomon knows, he can. Oh, you did even more now. So Solomon, how do I get this thing in polar mode?
Go to the mode button and then down to function. You press right for the pole.
Yep. Do you know what par is?
Parametric.
Yeah. So polar. Now when I go to graph, it will spit out R's now instead of Y's in the left. And when I go and hit that variable button down here for X, it will spit out a theta now instead of X. So 2 cosine theta plot. We get that thing. Let's say I want to zoom in. Let's do zoom box. Here's my little circle. So calculator's extremely handy. Just make sure that now that you have this knowledge of the polar mode, to go back to function mode if you need to go and deal with x's and y's instead of y's and th's. Or if you want to be like crazy, do x's, y's, and t's and go into parametric mode, right, Solomon?
Yeah.
Do x's, y's, and t's and go into parametric mode, right, Solomon?
Yeah.
And go into parametric mode.